This is the House Boom Podcast. I am your host, Eric Boom Salvery. Today we have a special guest, the one and only Sam Garvey. She is the designer, and I'm gonna mess it up. So what is it?
I'm the fashion designer and creative of my brand, Garvey.
And the creative of her brand, Garvey. Now, y'all know it's been a minute, Boom's been out here, but she is a really dope designer. I kind of fell on, she fell into my lap by mistake. Well, no, I don't want to say that she fell into my lap because then I don't want her husband or somebody to come looking for me. She fell across my feed by mistake on purpose with my good brother, Rich McCann, was modeling her brand. And I was like, yo, that brand is fire. And I said, yo, bro, you gotta connect me with her. He's like, yo, I got you. Just don't mess it up. I was like, I got you. And from then, you know, it's been a solid build. So I want to introduce her, and then my first question out the gate: what got you into designing menswear? I think.
So you want to start with menswear?
Oh,
I've been doing designing for a while.
Okay, let's just talk about. Go where you want to go first.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Okay, so I've been designing for a very long time.
Okay.
I'm self-taught.
Wow.
So I didn't go to school for it. I actually went to school for like the marketing aspect of it. But I wanted to design since I was a little girl. I used to sketch, and then fast forward until this year, I just dropped my first menswear collection this summer.
Wow.
And I've been like dabbling in it a little bit, but I'm like, guys are simple, but you guys are not simple.
Okay.
Right? So I had to figure out how could I do something a little bit different, but still keep it like contained in what you guys are like comfortable with, because I make it for masculine men.
Okay, that's what it is. When you're putting a piece together, how does that process work?
Well, this is the first line that I've done that's manufactured.
Okay.
Usually I make everything myself.
Okay.
So, you know, God gives me the creation in my head, and I usually buy the fabric first.
Okay.
So this time the print was made, the fabric was made from scratch. So usually I would go buy the fabric, I would make my own pattern. From the pattern, I, see what I like, see what I don't like. I really don't sketch as much as I used to, but now I'm starting to. So yeah, I usually buy the fabric and then make the pattern from that. Sometimes I kind of like play with social media to see if they would like it, if they don't like it, what color I should change it to, stuff like that to make it a little bit more interactive, even though I really don't pay attention to that sometimes. Just want to see where people's minds are. And then, just go from there.
So there's a key term now I see a lot, bespoke. What does that mean?
Bespoke means, well, people usually say custom, but it's not custom because you're starting it from scratch. Custom is usually if you have a pair of sneakers and you stud it out or something. That's custom. Bespoke means I take your measurements, we go over the colors, we go over the sketch, everything, and then it's literally made for that person. That's what bespoke is.
One thing I like about that is that when you get something custom made, it flows with you. Like I have a shirt I got made maybe a couple years ago. I could gain 10 or I could lose 10 pounds, and it fits the same. Whereas like when you buy something in the store, I used to have this theory. Do you remember Express, when Express they came out with the men's shirts and stuff like that? I was like, when they wanted to sell them joints to black people, they had all the XLs, the 2Xs, all this other stuff. And then once they made their money, I couldn't find a shirt that fit no more. And that's what really pushed me into like making like shirts, like getting them custom made. Like this shirt even that I have on is like, I got lucky. I forgot where I found it at. I was like, oh, okay, it actually fits.
It's about fabrication.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, that's really important to really put together and have that, and especially when you have a collection of shirts, it's nice to be able to go in your closet and be like, all right, I can wear this one, that one, and I know I'm good.
Right.
Now you said that you got this manufactured, but what is the process for you when you're doing like measuring and everything like that? Because I'm guessing that you said this was your first year doing menswear, but ladies wear is more difficult. Would you say?
For me, since I've been doing women's wear all this time, it's not difficult. It's like I could whip up something like that for women.
Oh, okay.
For men, you guys have more of a tailored fit. Like the shirt that I have on, the buttons, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much work that goes into it that people do not see or understand. You have to use like fusibles, and it's a lot. So, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, with women, we could just make a little stretchy outfit. You just cut it out a certain way, sew it up, and boom, there you go.
Now, you said this is the outfit that you actually have on is a menswear shirt.
Yeah, it's the shirt. And I just tied it up. The shorts, I just made it, shorter.
So, my random question is your significant other's closet safe when it comes to, like, if you just like, I don't want to, it's just like, nah, I'm taking his t-shirt, it might get cut up.
In the wintertime, especially, it's not safe. It's not safe at all. He is like, wait, isn't that my jacket? Yeah, it's our jacket. It's ours.
That's it. Okay, so you're the one that's like, okay, when y'all out to dinner, like, this is ours.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I'm not that bad.
Not that bad?
But with the clothes, yes.
With the clothes, yes.
Yes.
Your line is called Garvey.
Garvey.
So let's talk about that. There's a lineage there. It's not just, I just decided to pick up Garvey as a dope philosophy, but there's a lineage there. There's philosophy there. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, Garvey is my last name.
Okay.
If you meet any Jamaican if you meet any Jamaican and they say that their last name is Garvey, we're probably related.
Really?
It's not a big, we do have a big family, but that's your cousin or something. I went to our family reunion in Jamaica. That was like 4 years ago. The amount of people, it was wild. I'm just me and a cousin. So, Marcus Garvey's my great-great-uncle. And when I was first starting my line, it was going to be called, what is the name? What's the Outkast song?
I had a while.
What is the Outkast song? How am I not thinking of it's Prototype. Lord.
Prototype.
I was going to call it Prototype.
Okay.
Because everything starts with a prototype.
Right.
And I'm very pro-black, so we are the prototype.
Okay.
Right? Everybody takes from us, period. So that's why I was going to call it that. And then everyone was like, no, just use your last name. So I was calling it S. Garvey. I'm Sam. So even when I started out, I didn't want to say Samantha. Because back in those days, like MySpace and whatnot, I didn't want to use my face for the brand.
Wow.
I wanted people to think it was a man that was making the clothes.
Was Tom your first friend?
Huh?
Was it Tom? What was his name?
You remember the guy?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I wonder where he's at right now. Like, why he not chilling with the Zuckerbergs? So probably he like
ducked off somewhere.
Right. But go ahead. So when you said MySpace, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's when I started around that time. But I used to make clothes for myself.
Okay.
So yeah, it was S. Garvey. I literally just changed it in 2020. I got a new logo and I was rebranding. So I was like, this is the perfect time for me to start like pushing out more about culture.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it as Garvey, and I am the culture, we are the culture, and just keep going forward with that.
Now, what do you see, I don't want to say, because you can't give away too much, but what do you see this thing evolving to? Like, I don't want to call it a thing. Stop doing that. Black people always say
thing.
Where do you see your fashion line evolving? Do you see yourself being up there with the Louis Vuittons and all those?
Sure. For sure. And that's another thing. Like, if you look at them and their names, they use their names. You know, their families are rich off of their names. So if I want to have my legacy, why not use my own name? So for me, my first thing is manufacturing. We go overseas. I actually do it in New York as well, but New York, we go overseas, we're paying these people, other people, our money when we should be keeping it contained in our own.
Okay.
So my first thing is having a manufacturing company in Jamaica.
Oh.
I already started working on that.
Okay.
That's my first thing. And then I'm also working on something else, but I can't talk about it, but
Come on, tell me.
I can't talk about it.
Okay.
But it's going to be in Georgia.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. So
Okay.
that's another thing. But as far as the actual brand Garvey, I definitely see it going global.
Okay.
I have this map and I kind of like pinpoint every time I get like a sale from somewhere different. I pinpoint it so I can know, okay, I hit this place, or somebody will go on vacation and they wear it to, I have a friend, she was just in Italy. She wore one of my pieces. Like, I haven't touched Italy yet, but my pieces have. So.
Well, then you touched it.
Right.
Right.
I was just in Egypt last year. My pieces touch Egypt.
Okay.
My pieces touch Colombia. Like, these are the things that I like to see.
Dope.
So it just, like, brings me to say that, of course, a global brand. And to make black fashion houses. Because that's not something we really see.
Black fashion houses?
Yes.
Okay.
Ateliers. But that's the French word for it.
Okay.
And why do we have to use the French word? So black fashion houses.
So,
or indigenous.
Yeah.
Indigenous fashion.
So I'm big into like Africa, like, you know what I mean? You can see like,
Yes.
Supremacy of God symbol right there. That's my favorite symbol. I just, I'm actually a little bit of a fashion guy myself. I don't know how to do it. Like I said, I do like to get the customs stuff. And it's almost interesting because you talked about how sometimes you just buy the fabric and then let it go.
Right.
And then, I have like a stack, like probably like this big of like, I'll just go to a fabric store one day and I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be. And then like I have a guide up north and I'll go there, I'll be like, all right, this is what I want you to do. And then I'll create a shirt. I almost wore that shirt today, but I was like, I didn't want to do it.
Right.
But getting back to my original point of like that connection to the continent, because I believe part of Marcus Garvey's plan was to get us up out of here years ago, but obviously there's always theories of why he didn't make it up out of here because he was going to take all the workforce with him and all this other stuff. And but what is your connection to the motherland, if you could allude on that?
Wow, so much. But the first thing, I definitely believe in what he was trying to do, the Back to Africa movement.
I believe in that now too. I don't know.
It's just wild to me that now we are in 2022. What was that? 2020 when all this protesting and everything was going on. Yeah. And I remember I used to say to people like, we should be. Oh God, there's so much to what I want to say, but like, we were here in America before slavery even happened. The Moors were traveling. We were here. Okay. That's what I wanted to establish first.
Message.
We were already here. So, they try to tell you, like, we only got here off of slave ships. That's false. So, the people that were taken, I believe, why not go back to your home? Why not go back to your land? If you saw in Ghana, they were telling us, come back home. We see what you guys are, what the Americans are going through, so why not come back home? And when you look at the difference between African Americans and Africans or Caribbean people, there are differences, but we are all the same. Right. You have, what is it, ADOS, and the Foundational Black Americans and all that. I think that's all foolishness because we're all one, right? We're all one people. And that's actually the motto for Jamaica, out of many, one people. But I don't see anything wrong with the Back to Africa movement. And you hear white people and all these other people telling us to go back. But if you really wanted us to go back, why did you stop Marcus Garvey from doing what it is that he wanted to do? That makes no sense. And y'all are not even from here. Right. These Europeans, y'all are European, so, it says it right there. This is not your home either.
It's so interesting. I've been blessed to go to Ghana twice. I've been to Togo once. Some other places that I want to visit. And, the biggest thing that been on my mind since then, I was even thinking about it yesterday. Like, I was BSing. I've been BSing on this, but getting my dual citizenship. Because once you get that, like, you kind of alluded to it when you said that. I always thought about like, well, this is what I'll say. I always tell people, every black person should have a connection with Africa. It doesn't have to be Ghana. It could be other countries, and it's not just kind of what producer Baif is just doing the ancestry.com, but really have a real connection to it, because the next time you get confronted by other, I don't want to just say white people, because white people are not the only racist
Right, that's
people,
what I said, and
but
others.
and others, you can literally say that when they say something to you like, "Oh, go back to Africa," and if you have a relationship, be like, you know what, I might just do that, and then you're gonna be out of luck, because then what goes back with me is our creativity.
Everything.
Our nature, our vibe, our coolness, our music,
our food.
Right. And y'all can have it for a while.
One bland planet.
Yeah, one bland planet. You know what I mean? And
tasteless.
And we'll go there. And we'll go there. And I do think there would be some difficulties with, the people who are now natively born there and then, having things.
Right.
But once we work through that, work through that stuff, like it's crazy to think, and I'm gonna digress because you're the guest, but it's crazy to think that I know people, here in America, that people say, I run the block, and then I know people in Ghana who own a block, and I don't mean own the block, I mean own the dirt, the dirt that the land is built on.
Right.
Not like you have a friend of mine. He's a artist. He does spoken word, and he's got. You might like this book. It's called Dark Skin Girl and all this other stuff. It's Kofi. He has a street named after his street, and that's his street.
Wow.
It's different.
Right.
And I was looking at some pictures the other day. I was like, it was 2013 since I've been back, and then I went back in 2017. I need to go back again. But it's so much more advanced now. Right. And then there's other countries, Kenya, Senegal,
when
like
I
all
see
this.
The pictures and the videos when my friends go back, I'm like, why am I not there?
Right.
Why are y'all still here?
Right. And when
I get it.
when you understand that dual citizenship, and when you understand all that stuff, that you can actually go there, you can buy land, and you can actually have a home there. It's cheaper. You can think, and there are some difficulties and stuff like that, but so does every place else. And it's not, Africa is not the place that we see on TV. Often, and that's what people get confused about. And I remember when I went back, people were like, "Oh, I want to see pictures," and they were looking to see lions, tigers, and bears. I'm like, "No, that's not what I went back for."
Like to go on a safari.
Yeah, you can go to South Africa for that. No, I went to West Africa. It's
I'm
totally
actually
different.
going there, South Africa, for my birthday this year.
When's your birthday?
October.
Okay.
So every year I'm like, I need to go to Africa for my birthday. Last year was Egypt, because I've been wanting to go there since I was a little girl. Like ancient Kemet, I am so I'm just enthralled with the whole thing. So I was like, I have to go. Plus last year was a rough year for me, so I was like, I have to go. This year it's going to be South Africa and Namibia. Yeah.
That's going to be a dope. And I don't know if would that be your first time? What? Officially, like in Africa,
well,
or Egypt, but I mean, that's more like Arab.
Yeah, I got my gripe with that too. Yeah. Well, as soon as I started seeing some darker skinned people, I was like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
But I will say that when you get to those parts, it'll.
South Africa's a little funny.
Yeah, it's a little funny too, Mandela, all that stuff. But it won't be life changing, but it'll be life perspective changing. And I think for what you do with your brand, I think it'll add a layer that you weren't that you weren't expecting,
sure.
and it'll take you further.
Ghana is definitely next.
Yeah, definitely gotta go.
Because I know my people are from there.
Yeah.
Ghana and Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like when I see other Ghanaians, they're like, "You from Ghana?" I'm like,
nah,
technically.
Yeah. I think I'm more on the Nigerian side because I'm Trini. And it's kind of funny. We had that a similar thing. My last name is Salvary, and so it's kind of like Salvary. So if you see somebody with that last name, more than likely you're related, and it's like cousins and stuff like that. But when I look at my cousin, she looks like if she hung out with nothing but Nigerians, they'd be like, "Yo, you're Nigerian." So she has that, and we all have that. So I was like, "Yeah, we're probably more Nigerian than." Yeah. You know what's funny? When I came back from Ghana, I saw this dude. I'm not like height challenged. I'm 5'11", and but I saw this brother. This dude looked just like me. I say it's the difference between somebody saying that person looks like you,
Right.
and you saying, dang,
Right.
that person looks just like me. We at the airport coming home, and I'm like, he was like 6'4" though. I was like, dang, why can't I get that? And I was like, so I went up to him. I was like, bro, you know we cousins, right? He was like, he started laughing. I was like, I ain't never seen anybody that kind of looked like me. And then he I asked him where he's going. He said, yeah, I'm going home. I'm going to Nigeria. I was like, no, that sealed it. I'm Nigerian. So, I also thoroughly enjoy Nigerian jollof. So, sorry to all my Ghanaian friends. Nigeria got it in my mind right now. But anyways, I digress. Speaking of Africa, let's turn it a little bit, and you did some stuff with Beyonce. Talk about that. That's dope.
I did actually, okay, so it was for Black is King.
Okay.
Which was released, was that 2020?
Yeah, around that time.
These last 2 years been a blur, so mind me. I actually did what is that song? I forgot the song with her and that guy from Ghana. And it's so funny because the beginning of the video, no, he's not like popping right now. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
I have to
We'll
look
get
it
it. We'll get it.
So it's so funny because at the beginning of the video, you got the RBG flag, and I was like, oh, they knew what they were doing when they wore my piece for that.
Okay.
It was a floral bodysuit I did for her and her dancers, so I did all of them. Her stylist had a assistant stylist, Bianca Dunn. Shout out to her. She hits me up one day and was like, Sam, I know you so fast, but I know your like creativity is up there. So she was like, how would you feel about making a bodysuit? And I'm like, a bodysuit? I can do that in my sleep. That's nothing. And she was like, no, like an all enclosed bodysuit, because it's the gloves, it's the feet, and you have like this little helmet looking thing. So I'm like, yeah, that I've never done it before, but I'm pretty sure I can. So she was just like, okay, bet. I would like for you to do it. And then she was like, shh, don't say nothing, but it's for Beyonce. I said, it's for who? For who?
Wow.
You just hit me up for what?
Right.
She was like, shh, don't say nothing. I ain't no problem.
I love that she gave you that approach though.
Right. She first asked me, and then she told me what it was for. Swear to God, that night, as soon as she told me, I got home. I found the stretchiest, prettiest fabric I could find, because I have fabric on top of fabric that's just sitting there. And I made the bodysuit that night. Sent her a picture of it. I took the pictures of it myself. And she was just like, bet. I'm going to send it to Beyonce stylist, Zarina. So she sent it to the stylist. Zarina was like, when can we meet with her?
Wow.
Literally. And I had just gave up my studio, my fashion house studio. So I was doing it from home. They came to my house literally 2 days later, which was a Sunday. And I live in Brooklyn. And they came to my place, and then they were like, what fabric could we use? So Zarina's talking to the director, trying to figure that out. And I was like, look, there's a fabric store not too far from me. It's in the hood. Let's pull up over there. They about to close. We got all the fabric right there.
Wow.
And then I created all those bodysuits in no time. I sketched it out, had them see what it would look like. We did it. Then when she realized, how good I am, she was just like, all right, there's this other bodysuit I see on your website. I want that. I want this. I want that.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. At the time, it's so funny because I just picked up a part-time job. I haven't worked for anybody for years.
Right.
But that was the time. I quit that job. I quit it.
Grand opening, grand closing.
I could not do the amount of work that she was asking me. I didn't have a seamstress to help me.
Right.
So I literally quit my job, and I was like, nah, it wasn't for free. I wasn't doing the work for free. I was getting paid. And what they were paying me, my job wasn't paying me. So I was like, deuces.
Don't break my soul.
That's so funny.
Right.
Wow. Full circle.
Right.
But, yeah, I did a couple of pieces for her. I even dropped it off at their spot in Tribeca.
Wow.
It was crazy. I did something for Blue and Rumi. Yeah,
Oh,
Blue
yeah.
and Rumi. But the way it ended up, they wasn't able to wear it because of the time frame.
Okay.
But
Well,
that experience
Did you
was
actually get to
crazy.
meet like her and just no?
No.
Couple layers
Still didn't
back.
meet her, but she know who I am.
All right.
She know.
I mean, she met you though. That's the thing, cause she's wearing your stuff. That's
Well,
that's.
yeah, technically,
yeah.
but technically not technically.
Yeah. I mean, and so a piece that you did recently was featured in her church girl video, or was that? No. That wasn't that. So that was just
The Black is King.
The Black is King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fire though. That's a you can, I mean, a resume like
Right.
that. It's interesting. My one boy, he does embroidery. He's just excellent work. I don't have. He did this one,
Okay.
the boom hat, and he's the only one that can do this like this. And the level of detail that goes
That's
into
good
that
quality.
is quality. I
very
can't
good
get this
quality.
done at anywhere. And shout out to Ray. And he's the same way. He's like you. He's like, I can't even hire people to work with me because they're not gonna. The quality of work won't be the same. Like that's the second one he did for me. The first one I sweated it out and was wearing it when I do the workout portion. And I was like, all right. So then I was like, all right, you gotta make one just for me.
Yeah.
And I can only use that when I'm doing stuff that I'm not gonna sweat in. But that's what I could only get it from him. I couldn't get it from nobody else.
Right.
The rest of these I get like just anywhere. But I understand that mindset of detail. And it just thing. Now you also did something with Mary too.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl that just passed. I
Wow.
don't know what number that was.
Yeah.
Don't ask me because I don't watch it.
I'm a football fan. I get lost. With
I'm a basketball girl, so
okay.
I don't
Who's your
pay
team?
attention.
Lakers.
I don't have one. I
Okay.
used to be a diehard Knicks fan, but
Okay.
I'm like, guys, I can't even
All right.
anymore.
Yeah, it's
But
understandable. Stephen A. would probably feel your pain, but
I can't stand him. Oh, I cannot stand that man.
Right.
But yeah, quality over quantity for sure.
Right.
Especially, and it's taboo, but as a black-owned company, they're gonna get on you harder than they get on anybody else. Oh, your quality, your customer service, everything has to be even more on point. Just like when we were in school, we always had to do better than everybody else.
Right.
Same thing. So yeah, you're right. Quality.
I'm running out of bullets, and I'm wondering if producer Baif, he's been going through some things, if you don't know, he has a couple warrants. It's a running joke that we have here, so that's why he's not on
I
camera.
actually watched an episode of yours, and he said something like, I can't show my face. I got warrants.
Yeah.
Cracking up.
Well, now I feel special that she watched it. Sometimes
I'm
people.
not gonna come here and not watch
No,
anything.
because some people just be excited, like, oh, I'm about to be on something. I feel good that she watched it.
I'm particular.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
particular.
But
You want me to be on what? Where?
yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
So Baif
That
is
really be me.
Baif, but I think he's your cousin or something like that. That's what he was telling me off camera. I don't know. He might be a Garvey. He might be a Garvey, like the three families apart. But I'm gonna let him go ahead if he got his question fired up. And
So you mentioned your husband,
Boyfriend.
boyfriend. How supportive has he been on this journey with you?
He's been supportive. He's not used to someone like me.
Okay.
So it's adjusting. It's an adjustment for him. So when you have somebody that's not a 9-to-5er, and you're like, where is their mind? Their creativity is everywhere. Like I could just be in the house, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go do something. I gotta go sew or whatever the case is. But other than that, he definitely asks me questions, and he tries to understand. And it's funny because his mom used to sew, so it works out. And he's Grenadian, so he got it a little bit.
And my second question is, Garvey has a legacy attached to it.
Right.
With your fashion brand, what is the legacy you want to leave behind with your brand? Is it in the same likeness or? Yeah.
I got asked this question before I did this. I did this thing with Nordstrom. They asked me this, but when they asked me, it was more of a thing like, So I have a chronic illness. You would never know, but I have a chronic illness. So with my legacy, with the brand, I also want to associate with like just strength. Um, Hence why I have this quote. But with the Garvey lineage and with who I am, bringing it both in between, I want to leave a legacy of like you yourself as a person could do anything you put your mind to. I'm self-taught. I'm making all this happen on my own. I don't have any rich parents. I don't have a rich boyfriend, husband. You know, I'm figuring this out on my own. So just knowing that you can do certain things and it's not no until God says no. And to keep just propelling and pushing yourself forward, that is the legacy I want to leave behind for myself. Now, the legacy as far as my brand, like I said, I want to be one of the first fashion houses. Alexander McQueen is by far my favorite designer. Mugler as well. And to this day, like, even though, well, Alexander McQueen passed a few years ago, and Mugler just passed, was it this year or last year? This year. So
Sometimes when those things happen, that means that the floor is yours to elevate to.
right. Because at this point, I want to get back to more couture. So that's why I actually like said I need to manufacture my pieces so I could have time to be sitting there and just sewing each and every little single detail. So yeah, the legacy I want to leave behind is that like one of the first Black fashion houses that made it happen for other Black designers and open up the doors. Right now I'm working on a community project to help children learn the skill and the art of sewing, because I feel like it is an art that is lost. That's why I don't have the help that I do, because even people that went to school, I'm teaching them.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, there's a gap here. There's something here.
You know, it's interesting. I grew up in East Orange, and I remember we had home ec. Like, we literally had sewing classes. Like, and that was and this was in middle school. This wasn't.
They don't have that
We used to make like pillows and just stuff like that. So I remember that stuff. So that's why I think, in a sense of fashion, that's why I get interested. I've stopped that. I've actually, as a dude, like, cause I'd be like, dang, if I could, I don't know how to measure myself. I'm like, if I could, but I was like, yo, there's a place in Rahway, New Jersey, and she actually sells African prints too. But she has classes. I was like, no, I might just take a class just so I could just start doing stuff like that. But before this escapes my mind, that was a bar. It's not a no unless God says no. Oof. I felt that. And so that's going up on the board or something like that. Maybe that'll be back there.
I always say, like, I'm creative, right? But where is that coming from? So it's what we call downloads or whatnot. So if I wasn't supposed to be doing what I'm doing, why am I getting these ideas? Where is it coming from? So if I don't pursue it, I feel like God would be like, all right, I'll give it to somebody else. Like, you're not doing anything with it, so why am I keep on giving you these ideas? Like, I have so many ideas and I just don't have the time or the manpower to do it. But yeah, like, that is, I just feel like that's a spit in God's face if I just don't keep on going. No matter what stops me, no matter what is in my way, I'm like, I got to figure this out, because the reward is going to be so great. That's how I see it.
Talk about self-talk, because that's something, I don't know if we alluded to that earlier, but that in itself is just like something, you know, how did you even find yourself in that space?
Like I said, I've been wanting to be a designer since I was little. It's funny because it was like, either I'm going to be a designer or I'm going to be a lawyer. When I found out lawyers lie pretty much for their clients, I was like, nah, I don't want to be lying. Like, that's crazy. So I was sketching and everything, and when I turned 16, my mom bought me my first sewing machine. but I didn't know how to use it. So we had a family friend. Her mother, they're Puerto Rican. Her mother is the one who just showed me how to just like put the thread through. I said, say no more. All I have to do is just learn that part, just push the thread through, and I'll figure it out. I used to rip my clothes apart, see how it's made, put it back together, and make my own. That's how I learned how to do pattern making. I used to buy patterns, and I did not understand it because I didn't understand the terminology and lingo. So I started going to the library to, learn what these terms are. And I'll check those books out. But it still was like, I'm a hands-on type of person. So if I don't do it myself, I'm probably not going to learn it. And yeah, just doing it from that. And literally just looking at whatever I had and then just getting a vision in my head. Okay, I could switch it up. I could put some lace on here. I could, put a bow on here and just fix it up how I see it. And then it eventually got me to where I am to like, it's practice. I used to probably sew every single day for at least an hour to make sure, I got it.
I don't know if this is I don't know the right term, but I don't know if this is prophetic or not, but I just had a vision of you just having like a bunch of kids just sitting at your feet, learning everything that you just put in front of my face.
I like the sound of it, but it's even wilder? When I came in here and I sat in this chair, I was like, this is deja vu. I was going to tell you after, but this is deja vu. It feels like this happened before it was meant to happen. I don't know what it is, but I felt like I was here or supposed to be here.
I literally just saw like a bunch of kids just sitting at your feet and just taking everything that comes out of your, everything out your mouth. She said, yeah, that's crazy.
Okay.
What else you got going on?
Well, I'm working on Fashion Week.
Okay.
I doubt I'm gonna do it this September. So.
You gonna do the spring one?
Yeah, February. Because again, like I said, I don't have time to make all the pieces myself. I'll do the samples, but September is just too close, and I don't like to rush anything. I've done that in the past, and I didn't like what I do. I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to these things. So. Yeah, September. Question.
You said you did a few fashion weeks before. What's been your favorite one so far?
My own.
Okay. You put together your own show?
My own show.
Okay.
It was a Black Renaissance fashion show, pretty much.
Harlem? Is that the Harlem one?
It was 14th Street.
14th.
I actually got this a brownstone.
Okay.
It's a historical brownstone, beautiful place, and it was like modeled after Prohibition era, so that 20s era, and I had the big church hats with the gowns and everything.
Wow.
All the church hats was from my grandmother, Grandma Garvey. And I had this woman, she's a burlesque dancer, come through to start the show. I had jazz players playing. It was really cute. The makeup artist and the hairstylist, I had like their pictures up, but it was like the wanted posters. So yeah, that was, I had the feathers. My aunt, she decorates, so the Garvey, she decorates, so we had the whole place just, it was so pretty. So this one is gonna be actually dance hall scene. When I was younger, I wanted to be a dance hall queen. My mom taught me some moves.
All right.
And I wanted to be a dance hall queen.
No.
So yeah, it's gonna be modeled after that for the show.
That's what's
That's
up.
the theme.
This is for the spring. Okay.
Yep.
Me and Be Up by You will be there. Come, that'll be good because I actually haven't done a fashion week in a long time. People understand like the stuff, like it's serious business. If you're in the photographer's pit, that's serious business because if you don't get your spot, that's it. You gotta pray and hope. Yeah, you gotta pray and hope that the fashion, whoever's in charge of lighting or the space that people have is good lighting, because the hardest thing you want to do is use a flash during a fashion week instead of being in a place that just has good lighting, so you can just take natural shots and stuff like that. And other photographers get aggressive when you in that pit, because you gotta get those shots. A lot of those are going to editorial, and it's like all right, and then you gotta hope the show runs on time, nobody falls, and all this other stuff. So
That's
there's a
why when I
lot
did
of
my show-
details.
When I did my show, it's natural light coming in.
Uh-huh.
When I do other people's shows, first of all, it's always all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
The models, I usually don't like the models. Like the walk, I'm just like, no, this. I can see if I use you for an editorial shoot, but for a walking situation, nah, this is not it.
Well, you know, I used to model, and I want you to judge my walk. She know we talked about this before, but she was like, you should do that for the show. So,
Right,
all
let me see
all
the
right,
walk.
so let's see. Hopefully, wife, you know. Oh, we got the beat. So,
Right.
hold on.
Hey.
All right. So, hold on. Let me clip it.
You gotta put some Beyonce on.
I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I don't know what Beyonce song. All right, so you know you got to start at the top of the T right there. You know you got to have your T stance. You know what I mean? You got to have your T stance. If you ain't got the T stance, I don't know what you're doing. So then you walk and you get a little swag with it. Then you stop, you lean, you come back around, you do your turn. You know you do your pose.
Not that pose.
Not that pose.
Not that pose.
That's a jail pose.
Nah, yeah. Depending on who you walking for.
Right. Rockaware or something like that. But
Wait,
yeah. I think they doing something with it. I think they
No,
doing
I'm
something.
thinking about
You know,
Sean John.
everything comes back. You know,
I'm thinking about Sean John.
Fubu tried to make a little comeback. They got a cell phone service. or
Didn't they
something like
buy it back out?
that. Yeah, something like that.
Sold it to the Koreans.
So,
Oh, really? I thought it was like, okay.
but you know, that's House of Boom, a lot of walk. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. But I have done some fashion shows and stuff like that. That's how me and Rich connected on football. We went to Rutgers together, and then we used to be like the only dudes, because the dude who ran the fashion show used to always like, yo, I just need some dudes. We're like, all right, whatever. But then he used to have me out there looking like a
You
fairy.
see, that's why I don't do those fashion shows, because they be like, we just need some people. No.
We need professionals.
We need professionals.
Right.
I remember I sent somebody a picture, an old picture. They was like, yo, why you look so bad in that picture? I was like, do you see this fairy sweater I got on right now? It look like pink lemonade, a large. And I'm like, I'm out here walking.
These designers going to push you some things.
Yeah. And so,
Some things.
you know.
That's why I'm like, I hope my models like what I put them in.
Right.
I'm like, girl, I know you like it though.
Well, no, if you put me in, the shorts and I'm gonna rock that. That's it. I ain't gonna do the jail pose, but I'm gonna model that thing.
Like, I got you up here.
All right, she said she got me up here. I feel special. If you mad, bro, see, this what happened when you get COVID.
It's all good.
But it's really been just dope having you here. So, where can people find you? Where do people can connect with you? Where do people connect with you if they actually want some pieces done? Like, because I'm sure those are maybe not all in one, but you know, different entities, and
They
you
are.
got to come correct.
They are. As far as like purchasing my ready to wear, it's www.sgarveycollective.com. I still haven't changed that yet, so it's still S Garvey Collective.
Okay.
And then for Instagram, my regular page, my personal, is SewMeHoute, SEWMEHAUTE. And then my business page is Garvey Collective. So I still keep collective on there, you know, so people can find you easier. So Garvey Collective. And then as far as bespoke, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really doing much of those
Okay.
because it is a headache.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a form for people to fill out,
Mhm.
and then I see what they would like made, because I don't like making duplicates. I'm not a seamstress. So when people are like, oh, I want this Beyonce dress, no.
It's 1-to-1.
If I didn't make it myself, I'm not making it. I could pull some, you know, inspiration from the outfit, but if you want something dead set on of what somebody else wore, I'm not making it.
So, my question is, when you get married, right? What's that gonna look like?
Whew.
Cause it's not. I don't see you like traditional, just white on. You know, do
My
whatever.
dress is gonna be pink.
Okay.
My dress is gonna be light pink. Light pink.
Light
I already
pink.
told him he has to wear a pink suit. It don't have to be Pepto-Bismol pink.
Right.
It has to be pink. It has to be light pink.
It could be mauve. It could be mauve.
Mauve is fire.
Right.
I like it. I know I'm getting changed like 3-4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want a big wedding though.
Okay.
I already know where I want to go. I already know all these things.
So who's making the bridesmaids dresses?
I'm creating everything.
Okay.
As far as the look.
Okay.
But I am not sewing it. I refuse.
Okay.
Even my own dress, like I'll have somebody else construct it, but the crystals, I'm doing it myself.
Got it.
Yeah, but everybody else.
What about his suit?
I already know who's gonna make it. My boys from Garçon Couture.
Okay.
They're making that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got it all mapped out. She's
All
like,
mapped out.
cause I was like, I don't see her just coming up there with the traditional white. We coming a little different with this
Not at
one.
all. Even how I pull up to my wedding, I think I want a boat. Like I don't even wanna. I want to do it on a plantation.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be stealing my ideas either.
I'm 12.
I could see you pulling up to a boat where low key have a big pimpin' playing on it.
Most likely. That's one of my favorite songs.
Like, yo, this how we doing it. You know what I mean? All right. I mean, this has really been a good episode. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that because it's like the creative in me is like, sometimes it's on 10, and then what happens is you got too many thoughts, and I can't download the one that I want to ask. But
Same thing happens to me, and I'm like, damn, I should have asked that. I should have said that. Yeah.
But I think
It'd be like that sometimes.
it'd be like that. So y'all know where to find her. Just one more time so people can find you. Whatever Instagram that you want to shout out the most.
Garvey Collective.
Garvey Collective.
Yes.
Y'all follow Sam. S Garvey, but Garvey Collective. Y'all go purchase some stuff. I'm sorry if you can't get no free shorts. It's just not what it is.
Sign up for the newsletter, you get 10% off.
10%, I'll take that. 10%, you know.
That's great,
Get that. You know what I mean? She gonna have you right for Fashion Week, for the brunch, for the brunch and grind, whatever it is you need. She got it.
Got it. And I
And
just dropped my swimsuits too, so.
oh yeah, that's something we could talk about. Not only does she design the clothes, she models her own stuff, and it look good. It look good. Now, respectfully, but you know, do you find yourself in a space where it's like, how does that work in a sense? And then what's the feedback from other women when you like, yo, like,
When I model it?
yeah,
Okay, so I told you I test out things, right?
right,
When I put models in my pieces, like certain things, I realized it sells better when I wear it. So I was like, all right, I guess I don't want to be in the forefront, but I'm like, it works for me. So,
right,
you know, I'll definitely still add different models, because I like to show like different body types. You know, we're in this era of all inclusion, which I think is amazing because this should have always been going on. To show it on plus size, to show it on a woman that's thick, a woman that's slim thick, a woman that's slim. You know, I like to see it on different body types. So the thing with me is just finding other models to wear certain things that I like. But yeah, I definitely model my things. I'm a walking billboard, as you should be. I think if you have a business, I'm not the type to be like, here's my business card. You're going to be like, oh, where you get them shoes from? I made it, you know? And they're like, word, give me your Instagram, blah, blah, blah.
You know what's funny? I don't know what's funny. It's like some of my hats have grind season on them, or some the Boom one is more simple, but like, or I'll have like a saying like that one says work hard, play hard.
Right.
And I love it when I go somewhere like that feeling. Like I remember one day I had like work hard, play hard. It was a different color hat, and I went into 7-Eleven, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. That day I was feeling friendly, like not so transactional, and I was like, yo, how you doing? He was like, well, you know, work hard, play hard, da da da. And I was like, yo, that feels like $1 million when somebody just gives that back to you. So I definitely understand where you're coming from when it comes to that. And
It's a good feeling.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's like, okay, people like what I produce, so
Right.
good feeling.
So that's what it is, man. So she's the creator, she's the model, she does it all. She hits it on all cylinders. Make sure y'all go purchase something, go buy something, go support something, share something on Instagram because we need
even a share.
more of that. And then, you know, stay tuned because she got a dope fashion show coming up. You know, if you love that dance hall scene, it's happening. And I just thank you for being a guest, a dope guest. It's a long time coming. We've been anticipating this episode for a while, and yeah. So this is the House of Boom podcast. That's Sam. I'm Boom, and we are out. Peace.